Hi, 5th graders. Today we're going to learn about number patterns, functions, using multiplication properties, and distributive property. So let's get started. So we're going to start off with number patterns. We're going to do number 1 and number 4 together. Let's look at number 1. It gave us 20, 17, 14, 11, right? Now we need to find the number that's missing. So in order to find out the number that's missing, we have to find out the pattern between these numbers. So when we look at them, we don't see that much, we don't see like a pattern, right? When we do multiplication, because 20 times any number cannot equal 17, right? Division doesn't work because 17 doesn't go into 20 or the other way around. So we're left with addition and subtraction, right? So when we try addition, it doesn't work because you can't go backwards, right? So we have to do subtraction. So we know that 20 to 17 equals what? Minus 3. So you put minus 3 right here. And from 17 to 14, it's the same, minus 3. And 14 to 11 is minus 3. So that is going to be your numerical pattern for this one, right? So in order to find this fifth value over here, we need to do 11 minus 3. Since that's the value, the pattern that's given to us, right? So, and when we do 11 minus 3, we get, 11 minus 3, we get 8. Oh, I just had my brain stopped working there. 11 minus 3 equals 8. So that's going to be our next number. And if you want to go on, then it'd be 8 minus 3, which is 5. So that's going to be the second number. But you only need to put 8 because they only give you one line right here. Now let's do, number 4. Number 4 gave us 1, 4, 16, 64, and then gave us 2 blank spaces. So we need to find the numerical value for this one. So when we go to 1 to 4, we can try addition. Of course, it's just going to be plus 3, but 4 to 16 is not plus 3, and it has to be the same all throughout. So addition is out of the question. Now let's try subtraction. We can't go from 1 to 4 by subtracting, right? So that's out of the question. Now let's try division. No, right? And let's try multiplication. Multiplication, 1 times 4 is what? 4. So that works. So it's times 4 right here. And then 4 to 16, same thing, times 4, right? So far it's the same number. And then 16 to 64 is also times 4. Since it's times 4 all the way, it's going to be our numerical pattern. So now that we found the numerical pattern, we need to use that to find the next 2 values. So we do 64 times 4. Now you could do mental math or using a calculator. I'm going to use a calculator since it's faster. Now 64 times 4 is 256. So that's going to be our 5th value. So we're going to put 256, and then we get 256 times 4. Once again, you could use mental math or a calculator, and we get 1024. So that's going to be our 2 next values, okay? Now let's move on to functions. So we're going to do number 3 together. Number 3 gave us the equation y equals 5x plus 4, right? And they also gave us a table, and it gave us all the x values of 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. So what this means is you need to plug in these given x values in this equation. And in this equation, the x is right next to the 5, so we plug it in, which I did for you guys. So 5 times 0, 5 times 5, 5 times 10, 5 times 15, 5 times 20. Make sure all those numbers add up with these numbers right here. Now that we have plugged them all in, we're gonna solve them. So let's do PEMDAS. Remember, multiplication before addition, right? So 5 times 0 is just 0, right? So we do 0 plus 4. Now we know that 0 plus 4 is what? I should write it here. It's 0 plus 4, right? And we know that 0 plus 4 is just what? 4. So y equals 4. Now let's move on to x equals 5. 5 times 5 is what? 25, right? So we put 25, and then we bring that to plus 4. Now we do 25 plus 4 and we get 29. So that's going to be our another y value. Now we do 5 times 10, which is 50, right? And then we bring down the plus 4 and we get 50 plus 4, which is just 54. Now we get 5 times 15, which is, I'm pretty sure it's 75, and then we bring down the 4 and we get 79. Let's check that on my calculator just in case I made a mistake. I'm pretty sure it's 75. Yes, it's 75. Okay. Now we get 5 times 20, which is 100, right? 100, and we bring down the plus 4 and we get y equals 104. Now for this one, let me highlight the answers because there's more than one. It's y equals 4 for when x equals 0. It's y equals 29 when x equals 5. And y equals 54 when x equals 10. Y equals 79 when x equals 15. And y equals 104 when x equals 10. Okay? Now let's move on to using multiplication properties. We're going to do number 4 together. I tried to choose a hard one for this one, or a long one. So it wants us to solve the equation. So since we learned that PEMDAS is first, let's see PEMDAS, right? I don't want to make another text box. Okay. So we get 4 times, what's 8 times d? Just 8d, right? So we put 8d equals 4 times 8, 32, right? Let's put that in parentheses for you guys just in case. And then it's still times 7. Now we need to simplify further. 4 times 8d is what? Just 32d. Equals what? 32 times 7. Let's try it out on our calculator to take less time. 224, right? Now we need to get d alone since we're solving for d, and we divide by 32. So if you guys need, no, I think you guys can get it. I'll just draw it if you want. Divide by 32. Because we want to get d by itself, right? And then 32 crosses out, 32 crosses out. And then I'm going to need another text box. And we get d equals 224 divided by 32, 7. And that's your answer. D equals 7. Now let's do distributive property. So we're going to do number 7 together. Number 7 gave us 8 times 2 plus w if w is 4. So we're going to, it says to restate the expression using distributive property. So we're going to do that first. And if you guys don't know what distributive property, I'll show it right now. It's easier to see it like this. We're going to disregard that if 8 is 4 for now. So 8 times this equation given here is the same thing as this one. 2 plus w. It's the same thing. And it's easier to see it that way. Let's put a space because I'm going to do some drawing. Okay, so when you do distributive property, you have to multiply 8 by 2. And you have to multiply 8 by w also. So in the end, you will get 8 times 2 is 16. Oops. 8 times 2 is 16. And then you just put the plus right there. And 8 times w is just what? 8w. Right? And now we have to take into consideration if w is 4. So is another word for equal. So we're going to put w equals 4. Right? Now that we know what the variable equals, we just need to plug it in to find the answer for this equation. So it's going to be 16 plus 8 times 4. Now we're going to do PEMDAS first, right? Multiplication before addition. So 16 plus 32. And that's 48. And that's your answer. So this one also has 2 answers. Let me highlight it. Your first answer is going to be 16 plus 8w. And your second answer is going to be 48. Your solution to that. Okay, and that's it for today. And I hope this video helped you a bit.